Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back into the North Bay Face-Off, brought to you by Bay Area Combat and Suncoast Awning. We are going to be talking about the show coming up October 26th. If you do not have your tickets, get them. Last year's Oktoberfest in October was amazing, and obviously in October of this year, it's going to be even more amazing, so make sure you guys grab your tickets. Napa Valley Expo, that is October 26th, brought to you by Suncoast Awning and Bay Area Combat. We are lucky enough to be joined in studio by not one, but two of the best fighters in Northern California, on the West Coast, period. From Team Salguera, we have Jamario Mulder in the house. Yeah. We'll be talking to in a few minutes, and Oseyiomon Oiyemhonlan to my right. Sure. And that name be fucking me up when I'm trying to announce. Every time I get to a show and I see his name on, I go, damn. This motherfucker again?
I mean,
no, I'm just kidding.
You say it better than most people.
I tried this because
let's see what GKO's gonna do with it.
I tried. Oh, that dude.
He's gonna butcher it.
Good luck, bro. Good luck, bro.
I'm gonna have to spell it out for him.
Yeah, bro. hey, just make sure you let them know that the name's prestigious, bro. That's all that means. Yeah, let them know.
Oh, definitely.
Tell
So
him it's royalty.
That's Nigerian?
Yes, sir.
Nigerian. And we were just talking about Donasabe Mohammed, who is also Nigerian, who's your teammate slash. I guess you kind of coach him, right?
Yeah, we're teammates, coach. You know, we help each other out a lot.
Yeah, and he's been on the show a couple times. He was supposed to actually co-host this show for a minute. Yeah, but he's too cool for us.
Yeah, you know,
he got girls. He's busy with the girls.
Work and more work. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. All right, guys. So this is North Bay Face Off 12. This is our 12th podcast. I missed the last two. I apologize for leaving you with Steve Barnett.
I'm a little wild.
I don't know what I was thinking. I want to start by talking to Jamario. We're going to talk to both you guys. Obviously, you guys have a lot going on. The reason I want to talk to you first, man, is we go way back.
Oh, yeah, of course.
One of my first events I announced was one of your first fights in 2013.
So you pretty much got on the scene around the same time as me.
I think it was like 5 or 6 in of my shows, Because I started with Art of War around the same time I started with Matt McGovern. I did your shows at Matt McGovern's fights, too, as well. Commentated and announced them. Yes, sir. So 2013, here you are, all grown up, man. You turned 18, pro on me. You fighting Bellator. All kinds of stuff.
Hey, we both progressing, though. That's all that matters. We both progressing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I talked a little bit about you a couple shows ago. We were referencing a fighter that you had fought. And I talked about your 2 fights with Melvin Washington.
Yes.
And the reason I always bring those up is because I want to bring it up now while you're on the show. Melvin was kind of like this guy that everyone was a little bit afraid of in the WFC.
Heard, and I was happy to hear that. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's funny because they was like, nobody wants to stand with this guy. No, I was happy. I was excited to hear that because I was like, oh, well, I'm hearing everybody tell me that about that in Cali. So I'm like, oh, let's get it set up. I'll jump on it so quick. Yeah. And continue to you. Go ahead.
So so he was from Del Paso Heights, which is like the South Central Compton of Sacramento, right? And his nickname was Cold Business, and everyone didn't want to fight him. So you got in there with him the first time, and you lost a decision, which was, even to me, it was like a huge win for you because he was killing people at the time. And then you were like, okay, I figured. I was
19.
You were young, man.
I was 19 at the time.
That was 2014, and then you came back 2015, and you fought him again, and not only did you beat him, you TKO'd him in I think it was the third round, right?
Yes, the
third round.
Yes,
and it was funny, bro, because I'm going to tell you why. Because leading up to that fight, I was talking to Matt McGovern. I was talking to Rob Haro. And I was like, you know what, man? I feel like Jamario's gonna get Melvin tonight. And they were like, nah. They're like, Jamario's good, but nah, Melvin, he's going to try to stand with Melvin. Melvin's going to knock him out. I was like, Jamario's got stupid boxing. Like your head movement at the time, and just you were technically way more sound than he was. Like he hit real hard, but you were just a better boxer. So when you beat him, bro, I was just talking shit the whole night to everybody. I was like, Jamario got him.
I'm glad I let you down. Because I remember I met you actually before the fight, the day of weigh-ins. I met you in the lobby of the hotel. And I remember you telling me, you was like, if you keep it standing, you're going to beat him this time. You're going to beat him. And I was just like.
We were at the buffet, bro. We were getting our eat on.
I remember, And I was kind of thinking to myself, because that was when I was still young, and I still wasn't fully, confident in my skills yet. See, now I was kind of just like, and I'm constantly hearing everybody tell him, like, your hands. And I'm like, all right, let me see what these hands is. And I don't really watch myself too much to know how good it is. Yeah. And, like, I remember you telling me, and it's crazy because actually the first 30 seconds, like, I have a wrestling background. Yeah. I tried to go in for a takedown. And once again, he actually was overweight, actually. So, I mean.
I remember he came in quite a bit overweight, actually.
Yeah. But, I mean, a fight's a fight. I'm not about the weight stuff. So, I mean, a fight's a damn fight. As long as he he doesn't have too much of a height advantage, too much on me, I was feeling pretty good. But, I remember going in, and I got suplexed pretty crazy, and I still got the photos to that day. I still look back at it and laugh at it. But I got suplexed and we stood up second round. We kept it on the ground the whole first round. Went to second round.
You mean
and it was all
you
standing.
mean tried to hump your leg a little bit? You mean?
Yeah,
Come on, let's be real about that.
Which is weird for Melvin too, because he likes to stand and throw hands.
Exactly,
Yeah, he's a
exactly.
brawler.
Well,
yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
it's, obviously didn't want to fucking take a chance on that shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I remember it all happening. Yeah, like you said, you believed in me. And it was just funny because I'm hearing everybody constantly telling me, like, oh, your hands. And like I said, you was one of the first people to believe in me.
Yeah.
And that meant so much to me hearing that come from you because, like I said, for you to like go out your way to tell me, in the lobby, if you go out
Yeah.
your way just to see me and tell me like, your hands is nice, and that made me like sort of slowly believe in my hands in there a little more. So.
Yeah, and with me it was cool because I would ring announce, but then I would go out and I would commentate the fight, so I got to really
Exactly.
look at how everyone fought, and it was
Exactly,
just your
yes,
head
sir.
movement, and it was just crisp punches. So I was proud of you, man. That was awesome.
Yeah,
And
thank
then
you.
since then you've turned pro.
Yeah.
You fought Bellator, and you've been fighting monsters. Like I know you fought one dude that was like 7-2. I mean,
everyone's avoiding because
yeah.
I can't find easy fights for
Chris
whatever reason,
Marinelli,
so-
right?
Chris
Yeah.
Marinelli, yes.
Yeah, he's
yes.
like 7-2. He's a monster, bro.
Yeah,
You fought
yeah.
him. You beat him, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Or body punch KO first
Yeah,
round.
TKO. Yeah.
Ouch.
So it's like we've talked about this before. People look at records and they go, "Oh, well, he's lost this many or he's only won this many." But
course, of
you got to
course.
look at who these dudes are fighting, man.
Of
like,
course,
you know
that's
what
the
I
fight
mean?
game. You got to tell people that. I try to tell
Yeah.
them
Well,
it's fight game.
It sucks is because people, like what you're saying, it's like you can't look at the numbers and determine how good a fighter is based
Yeah.
on the numbers. Because you know what? Like you're saying, he's fought some fucking animals.
You got to look at who
Some
he's
tough-
beat
yeah,
and who
it's
he's
like,
lost to.
Fuck.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
some of these guys, matchmaking for me is like the same way. I look at some of these guys' records. They may not have a great record, but holy shit, have they fought some tough ass
Yeah,
dudes?
yeah.
Man, if they were served a bunch of tomato cans, they'd be on top of the world as far as like the numbers go.
Blake McKernan. So anyway, I was gonna say too, and what hits me with the records and all that is, Melvin was on this big win streak, and then you
yes.
beat him, and my man lost 6 in a row. I mean, you got in his
heard,
head, bro. You
yeah.
like ruined that man's life too when
I
you
got
beat him.
nothing but respect for him. Like it's crazy because, like I said, I take losses and I bounce back. Just
Yeah, for sure.
Whatever. But I mean, I heard the same thing. I heard like he's kind of been losing. I mean, I kind of
He lost every fight after that, like 6 fights in a row.
Yeah, I know he fought Corey Carlson. That's what I
Yeah.
was supposed to fight next before I went pro. Because actually, I was going to go pro before I fought Melvin Washington.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was like, I might as well go one more amateur. I fought Melvin. And ever since then, I was supposed to fight Corey Carlson, I believe his name was. And that's the only one I saw that he
You
lost.
got a lot of
to.
cancel fights. Dudes cancel on you a lot, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they don't want no
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
Still do.
They don't want the
All
smoke.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah,
same thing. Still, nothing new. I'm
So-
always, go ahead.
So before we get into like your pro career, because I want to talk about that, I want to
Yes,
move
yes.
over to your teammate here because he's still in Ami.
Yeah.
3 fights in, 2-1.
Yeah, my wrestling partner, too. We went to high school together.
Yeah. Say your
High
name one
school
time.
together,
You
yep.
say it. You say it.
Oseyiomon Oiyemhonlan.
Oseyiomon Oiyemhonlan. Man, I kill it.
charm
I
is
kill it. You
small,
got braces?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that
You
charm
do?
is
You,
small,
they let you
man.
fight with those?
I mean,
You said nobody fucking hits me anyway. It don't matter.
He's too damn tall. Nobody can reach
I
him.
struggle hitting his ass in training, too.
So we got a guy over here, Jamario, who obviously has been fighting now for 6 years. You've only been fighting 1 year and you already have 3 fights. I mean, you were busy as hell this year, bro. It's
Yeah.
only August, man. You've had 3 fights this year. Are you insane?
nah, I was trying to get more actually. Like that's the crazy
With
part
50
about it.
fallouts.
Bring that
That's
mic a
how
little
we
closer
do.
to you, big dog.
That's how we do.
Yeah,
Like,
like-
I was trying to get more fights this year, but like we've had a lot of backouts like towards the beginning of the year, but it's whatever. Like we just wanted to get that like ringmanship in, so hopefully we keep getting them.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously it's August, so we're 8 months in. You've had 3 fights, so you're basically fighting every 2 months.
Yeah.
Basic somewhere in there, 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So when is your next fight?
I fight September 7th.
Yeah, you fight Luke Brewer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Tough fight.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
don't know, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a beast.
So and that's GKO, right?
Yeah, that's
Coming
GKO.
up, Jackson Rancheria.
Yes, sir.
First place I ever fought, by the way, Jackson Rancheria. But we didn't have the cool arena or nothing. We were just outside in the backyard by the pool and all that.
Okay.
It was some bullshit.
Back in the old days,
So
huh?
that's so let's talk about your last fight though, which you won. I think I got it written down here. Is Alex Griffin, Max Griffin's little brother. Max Griffin, obviously UFC, just signed a big 6-fight contract with the UFC. They call him the king of sack because he killed David Mitchell. So his brother was highly touted coming out. He had won his last fight, and people were expecting him to come out and just be a monster. And instead, you just really, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. You came out and dominated that entire fight, and then you subbed him. Did that fight go the way you thought it was gonna go?
I mean, like as I said before, like we don't come in with like a specific game plan, like oh let's just take them down and submit them. Like we just come in ready to fight. Like we work on every area. Like I got a good striking coach, Sergio, and I got a good jiu-jitsu coach, Johnny Santos. So every area is we're just getting fine-tuned in every area. So wherever the fight goes, we're just ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So is that how you you don't really have a game plan then for Luke?
I mean, I'm just ready to fight. Like, I know for sure, like, you know, he's an alpha male guy, so I know the takedown's coming for sure. And,
Yeah.
like, you just going to have to, it's going to be takedown
So,
defense, takedown
you know,
defense.
they're probably going to try to, you know, because you just fought one of their other teammates up at Sacramento,
Yeah.
and they're probably going to try to do the same type of game plan.
Oh,
you know?
no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, 'cause that guy didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight you at all.
Yeah.
And that was Titans Cage, right?
Yes, sir.
That was your only loss.
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
think
my-
it was he turned it into a wrestling match,
yeah,
right?
it was, ended up going to the ground.
I don't go to Titans Cage. Sean Curry, he could kiss my ass. But yeah, so
Really keep it real.
and you know where I live, bro, so you come see me. So anyway, so let's talk about a little bit about you before we get into Jamario's longer career. What brought you to fighting? It's been 1 year. How long were you training prior to your first fight?
Like 4 months.
You a crazy mother.
That
This
was
dude
me. I
trained for
think-
4 months. He's had 3 fights in 8 months.
Yeah.
He got another fight coming up.
The thing is, though, the thing about it is, though, like, I'm not new to the fight game. Like, I've been with Sergio since I was 12.
Okay.
But I took some time off because I was playing football and I was wrestling in high school.
Yeah.
So, like, when I was out of high school, I went to DVC and played 2 years of football over there.
Okay.
And then
That's Diablo Valley College?
Diablo
Yeah,
Valley
yeah,
College.
okay.
And just things didn't just work out the way I wanted it to, but God got a plan for everything. So I called Sergio back in October and I was like, hey, Sergio, I'm ready to come back. And he was like, I'll see you at 5. And since then, I've been with him every day, hitting it hard. Him and Jamario, we got our team's getting bigger right now, too. So we're just putting in work every day now.
Is this one of your
There's
strongest
more of us
training
to come,
partners?
More of us to come.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely.
How much you weigh?
Walk around.
Yeah, yeah.
Walk
190.
around like 180
What's your training weight?
to 90. Yeah, 80 to 90. Good weight
Yeah,
for when I
big,
started getting.
bro. Look
yeah.
at you, man.
Yeah,
Old
I
man
know,
strength.
That's what I'm saying. I used to cut to 155, and I used to
I
lose
know.
50 pounds in 2 weeks. I used to lose 50 in 2 weeks.
Hey, I need
used
to
be
lose 50
205.
in 2 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, I used to be
that
205,
hurts.
Yeah.
cutting to 155 in 2 weeks. So it was just like,
What's it
I
like
had so
with his
much-
reach when you guys are sparring?
annoying.
Yeah.
Annoying. So, yeah, you know, it's expected, right? Like, I'm a brawler. When I try
Yeah.
to get in there, you know, make a brawl fight, he got that reach. And it's like he hits me. And when he hit me, I throw a punch, and I'm just hitting nothing but air. And I'm just
Yeah.
blinded by his jab. And it's just like, you know, that's all it is. And actually, he was actually the first person to drop me in training, actually. How long ago was that, Osei? What was that, like a month ago?
What, you hit him with a
He
chair?
hit me with a head
It
kick.
was a head kick.
Yeah.
Because, you know, standing up is so easy for me. I don't need to, you know, worry about it.
Yeah, but look at the size of those legs, bro. Go gadget
Yeah,
foot.
yeah. He threw a kick, and I must have lazily put my hand up to block it, like right here. He came right above it and kicked me in my head. And he dropped. I'm not gonna fully say I dropped because you know.
Nah, he ain't drop.
yeah.
Oh, we're gonna
I went
backpedal a little
there.
bit now. We're gonna
I
backpedal a
fell.
little bit now.
Yeah, I fell to the side, caught myself before I fell. So it was a knockdown, but it wasn't a knockdown.
Yeah.
So, you know, he dropped me. I got my hands down. And after that, it was like a wake up call. Like, okay, let me see if I still got the dog in me. Because, like I said, I haven't even got to really.
Were you
understand.
mad? Were you mad? Did the anger come out a little bit? You were
I
like,
was pumped.
this motherfucker just
Yeah,
kicked me
I
in the
definitely went
head.
through my head. I was like, oh, no, this motherfucker didn't. And I got up and I started putting the pressure on him a little bit. And then, crazy thing is, next round he kicked me in the head again. And this time I didn't buzz though, so I was more ready
Yeah.
for it. So yeah, you know, I have to make sure I still have the dog in me. That's
I
it.
was just gonna ask you if you're at a point now and you're already this early in your career where you know how to use your legs to keep people at a distance with teeps and head kicks and
I mean, we work on everything. Like
Yeah.
when I tell you, like, I really have the best striking coaches out. Like, we work on everything. Like from the beginning. Like, you know how like when you first start off doing something like a sport like mixed martial arts, like you'll start off learning how to throw a jab, like learn how to throw regular leg kicks.
Yeah.
Sergio and Mario just got me right into it, like
Yeah.
throwing spinning back kicks,
Yep.
all types of things. So it's just like. I just feel like with that, like it helped me like learn faster of like the the gamemanship, like
Yeah.
I was just in it right away. So
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
really like a struggle as to like learning how to do like the different kicks and stuff. Like we know how to do it all.
okay.
That's it. Everything.
So what were you doing for? So you were with Sergio from the time you were 12. But you took a long time off.
Yeah.
So what were you doing?
In
Breaking
high-
the law and stuff.
yeah, definitely.
You could tell the truth in here, bro. We're all criminals.
I was playing football actually.
Okay.
I played football at Deer Valley High School.
Wide receiver.
Nah, I played
Safety.
I played. I started off playing defensive end, and then I played safety my senior year.
Okay, yeah, you tall. You gotta be safety or
Yeah,
tight
and
end
then-
or something.
And I went over, and I was wrestling as well. I wrestled in high school. I've been wrestling with the same coach since I was 11.
Okay.
So we were doing that, and then I went to DVC because I was trying to play college football because like I'm in school still. I was trying to get my education paid for, but football didn't go the way it went. I'm still in school right now. So
Yeah.
I'm a criminal justice major. But
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Now this is what we're pursuing
Narc.
right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's like, I might be. Now what? Now what?
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about, I want to ask both you guys. I'm going to start with you. Growing up, did you look at fighting and say, hey, I want to be a fighter, or I want to be a martial artist, or I want to be a boxer? Because at the time, MMA, well, you guys are young, actually, so maybe MMA was around.
Was it?
But were you guys more looking at being boxers? Starting with you?
For me, I started off doing karate, actually. Like,
Okay.
you know everybody.
Like
does.
Taekwondo?
Nah, just like
Just karate.
straight karate.
Some
yeah.
Kempo shit.
Yeah. So
okay.
I started off doing karate, and like, it wasn't like fighting wasn't really something that like I was really exposed to till I was about like maybe like 11, 12 is when I was really like, okay, like I might actually like be really good at this shit. So like that's when excuse my language.
Oh, it's all good.
Have you not been hearing me talk for the last
Yeah, I
20 minutes?
know. There ain't nobody gonna edit this shit.
But that's when I was like, I might actually be really good at this. So I started off. I went to I was at RNG Muay Thai for a little bit, and then Sergio's son actually wrestled on the same club team as me. And I seen him, and like at that time, like it was one of those things like my parents were like, "You're gonna have to do it on your own if you want to do it." So I just
Oh, they didn't want you to do it.
like my mom doesn't come to my fights. Like she prays for me, but because terrified of MMA, like she doesn't want to see me get punched or none of that.
Yeah.
So like I got with Sergio.
I like watching everybody get punched.
See,
I like
see,
that.
but
Yeah.
she's not like that. But, like,
Did you have a good childhood then coming up?
Oh,
Like you're not from the streets like, I
Nah.
gotta fight to make this work. You just
nah,
wanted to be a
definitely.
fighter.
Nah, I just it's just something I want to do. Like,
Look
I
at you, man. You got like the perfect little haircut. You got like the line in your little beard.
I mean,
Look at
hey,
you. You're not a model or nothing? Don't lie.
Nah.
You on Instagram like posing and stuff?
Nah, I don't. I'm not.
Don't
I'm
lie
not
to me,
really,
OC.
I'm not really photogenic like that.
I'm gonna pull up your Insta now. I want to
Pull
see.
it up. Tell people
You
to
get some-
follow
some-
me. Mean
I mean,
underscore
yeah, he
lean.
gotta
It's some,
Yeah.
what is it?
Mean underscore lean.
Yeah, you can see my man here in some American Eagle and some Abercrombie. He's on there posing.
But-
Do need some
Damn, yeah,
sponsors
yeah.
though, so I would do what it takes.
So what about you, Jamario? What brought you to fighting?
Ah, man, it's crazy. Okay, a little different than Oseyios.
Yeah,
My early years as a kid, actually, I grew up in Oakland, born in Oakland.
I know that.
Yeah, grew up Oakland, Richmond, all that. So, fighting kind of comes with it.
Yeah.
And don't get into it. When I was younger, I'm not gonna lie, I used to be scared to fight. I'm not gonna lie. But when you got when you gotta face reality, kind of you gotta face reality early.
Right.
I remember when I used to get into it with kids at school. That's where it always started, of course, at school. Or, kids in our neighborhood. If I used to come home, tell my mom, okay, I got into it with this person at school or at this, my mom used to jump up so quick and be like, you know what? We about to go over there and we about to beat his ass. If you don't beat his ass, I'm about to beat your ass.
Right.
All the way up until there, I think it's kind of like a fight. You got the wake and you got the fight coming up.
Yeah.
Except for there, I got 20 minutes to get myself ready
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
fight.
yeah.
'Cause we're going to this person's house.
And there's no
we say-
referee, and there's no
referee.
gloves. You ain't cutting weight.
Yeah, so it's just, you fight. So, I mean, I always kind of had a fighter, kind of killer
He said
instinct.
my
because-
mom took me
he
over.
was the
You know that
first
Jay
thing.
Diggs song where he says, "You better whoop his ass." That's what my mama say.
Yeah, or it's like, I'm gonna whoop yours when you get
Yeah,
home.
yeah,
so, I mean,
exactly.
yeah, so that was that. So I mean, that's as far as like the fighting part that I know about was going to that part. But eventually, as I got older, we kind of got away from the streets and everything.
Right.
We moved around a lot, and I kind of started becoming more. Because at some point I went through this phase, I was like, violence isn't the key. You got to grow up. You got to.
Yeah.
It's not about violence. It's
I
about getting
thought
farther.
violence solves everything, though, right?
It does now. That's
It
my
does.
that's my
It
mindset
does.
again.
Right.
At first it wasn't, but then I'm like, I was wrong. I was young and dumb, and I'm wrong. Violence solves everything. So yeah. So like I said before, we escaped everything, and I kind of got a little soft. I'm not gonna lie. I grew up 3, 4, 5 years. Now it came about. It's not about violence anymore. But I've always been athletic. I used to be 206 pounds doing flips and crazy flips, and nobody never thought I could do.
Right.
Osei knows. He knows what the flips I could do.
that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
Still do it to this day. But like I said, I kind of got away from it. But then I seen it. Actually, I seen you. This is when I was in middle school, maybe 8th grade. That's when I first seen UFC, and I'm like, oh, like if I would have known this existed back then, this is something I would have chased. I was a little late. I was into it around 8th grade. By high school came, I was still into it, and I never really knew where to go. And so 2 years later, I wrestled my junior year. And I wrestled. It was more to lose weight at the time. I wanted to do football. It was more to lose weight, and I think wrestling was the thing that really brought out the fight.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is the closest thing, to the MMA I always wanted to do when I was younger. And I'm like, okay, I stuck with wrestling for 2 years, junior and senior year. And, by some rare coincidence, I met Sergio my senior year.
So you actually met Sergio
Yes.
before Paul, who we'll talk about in a second. We were talking
Definitely,
about
yes,
pre-show,
yes.
but okay, so you met Sergio his senior
Definitely,
year.
yes. I met Sergio actually my last year, like literally like maybe a month before wrestling ended.
Okay.
And ever since then, Sergio's just like, if you serious about this, you're not trained, I used to fight. Of course, I kind of didn't believe him at the time. I'm like, what's the chances? And it was legit. We just.
What's
got
that
it
mean?
taken
Mexicans
on.
can't fight?
No,
What
it's
does that
not
mean?
That's just,
There's no
you
such
can't-
thing.
no,
Mexicans are all fighters,
I know
bro.
they
The
is.
greatest
I know
fighters
they
in the
is.
world, man.
I know they is. They got the
Damn.
heart. That's
What
I'm
are the
saying.
odds that this Mexican knows how to fight? Fuck that shit.
No, it wasn't that way. It wasn't that way. I had nothing but respect. It was just like, I'm just like, what are the chances, for me to hit him? Because it was
Yeah.
kind of the way he came to me.
To
too. He
run
was just
into him like that, yeah.
And he was just like, I don't train. It's all free. He's like a legit, like, good-hearted guy. Like, he literally came to me and he was just like, I don't train or nothing. I just want your dedication and loyalty. And dedication and loyalty is something that means the most to me.
Yeah.
So, it was like, coincident how I met him. Because, like, even as he's like a father figure to me. He just expressed the same mindset as me. Like I said, dedication, loyalty. He just wants to do whatever he can to help people. He doesn't care about charges. He doesn't care about fees,
Yeah,
nothing.
for sure.
So, that's when, like I said, what are the chances of that happening? So, I
Yeah.
kind of didn't believe it until I fully went to his gym. I didn't know how to throw a jab. I didn't know how to do anything. So, he worked with me. He really put his time into me. We used to go 3-5 days a week. And, like what you said earlier, he went in 4 months in. I went in 2 months into training in my first fight. So, I mean.
Is that Sergio doing that? Is that Sergio like, you guys, it's time to fight already? Or are you guys just like, dude, get me a
caught
fight?
on quick. We just
Yeah.
caught on
Yeah.
quick. That's
like,
all
once
it
you-
was.
once you
Naturals.
start going, you're just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like I gotta use this on somebody.
Yeah,
you
we
feel me?
caught on
So-
quick.
I
So,
gotta
yeah.
use this on
Like,
somebody.
you learn all
Yeah.
types
Oh
of
my
shit.
gosh, bro.
Exactly. So, we just caught on real quick. That's all it was. Even to this day, like, when I have fights, I can take 4 months off. I won't train. I won't go into the gym. 2-week fight camp. I procrastinate almost every last one of my fights. I'll go
Yeah.
over 2. He knows. I
You
procrastinate
be riding
on
them
my
OC?
fight.
Be like, dude, get in and train,
Dude,
bro.
I go in
you
2
don't
weeks for the
understand.
fight, and I
call
come
this
in.
man over and over again. Like, Mario, where you at? I'll be there tomorrow. I'm like, dude.
Hey, let me ask you
I'm
something.
at work,
Okay,
bro.
hold on.
You know
Let me
what
ask you
work
something.
schedule is.
Don't say work because I know you're lying. So my man calls you and he's like, Mario, where you at? We got to train. And you're like, I'll be there tomorrow. What are you doing at that moment?
If I watch the
Okay.
cartoons,
No. Okay, if you guys know this, okay, when it comes to work,
Look at you thinking
I
of
work,
something to say.
No. I work with a lot of young people. So, young
Okay.
people has a tendency of calling off and all this. And
They
all
do,
that.
they do, yeah.
So it's like
No.
constant having to work doubles, constant. And then, Steve Barnett here has a bike
You work
now.
at Chili's?
Yes.
And you're the manager at Chili's? Yeah, there's some bullshit going on there. And Sergio got all
we
his
had
fighters
different-
where he's the
we had-
manager and all the fighters. You work at Chili's?
I work at
Oh
Chili's.
my God, bro.
Hey, he's got
Oh
some-
my, 10 of
Hey.
your fighters work at Chili's?
hey, do you feel safe
Hey,
working at work?
hey, all these mass shooters that are running into places to shoot, I dare you to go
Go
into the
Chili's.
Chili's that all these
No,
dudes
no,
work
no,
at.
hey,
You
hey.
get fucked up.
Nah, Sergio's
Shit,
at one of the
don't-
most
don't
craziest
come-
chilies out there right now. Sergio's at one of the most craziest chilies out there right now.
What
He be
is
having
going
crackheads
on
come
right
through
now?
there. He be having all type of crazy things going on at his chili. And that's part of the reason I want to go, because I'm at Pleasanton.
Yeah.
I'm over there with all the nice people,
Yeah.
all the professional people. So I go over there, I was going to say a different word, but I'm like, let me keep it professional. But I'm
You were
over
gonna
there
say
with all
white
the-
people.
Yes.
Yes, I knew you were. I knew
Exactly.
you were. I've seen your Facebook, bro. We're friends on Facebook.
Yes, I'm there with, as he said, I'm there with all the white people. So, I feel nice and safe there, nice and safe. But every time, Serge go over there, man, he's at San Leandro, and he's like, he got crackheads coming, he got people with knives, he got people coming there trying to take the tips and run off. He got, the craziest petty, like hood stuff,
Yeah.
like the craziest, pettiest things ever. Like, they come in there trying to take tips, and I'm like, man, it's crazy over there. So, I mean, I went over there a couple times too, and I seen how the guests can be just being over for 30 minutes, like going to go visit Serge. I see people just going off, and I'm like,
You're like, I'm going back to Pleasanton.
yeah, I'm like, let me go, man. Let me go.
What the
I'm
fuck
trying to
is
escape
going
the
on?
jungle. Yeah, I'm trying to escape the jungle. I'm just trying to be over here right
I'm
now.
gonna stop at
I thought-
Starbucks.
I thought he was talking.
Oh man, no, I ain't that white now. No, I ain't that white.
I saw a meme the other day that said, "I'm white, but I'm not wave at the cops white."
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sergio, there's a lot of nepotism going on there.
Yeah,
Sergio's
yes.
hiring all his fighters. You guys all work
He
at Chili's.
just has our back. Like
Which
I said, he's a
means
good-hearted person.
anywhere in the Bay Area, I want free food from Chili's. I just come into one and there'll be a Sergio Salguera fighter in there somewhere, right? I need free food.
yeah.
You got gift cards and stuff? Yeah, that's my boy right
He
there.
always hooking people
That's
up.
what
That's
I'm
what I'm
talking
saying.
about.
Sir, yes, a good dude. He give people, like I said, he's just a giving person. People who didn't have much, because he grew up the same way. He grew up in Nicaragua. and came from Nicaragua. To, I believe at 12, I believe he told me. And
How come when you say it, it sounds like Nicaragua?
That's
What,
what
isn't that what it sounded like?
That's what I call myself. That's what I call myself. Because we actually gonna fight for Combates, and I was thinking about coming out to the Nicaraguans. I was thinking about it because I'm representing Nicaragua.
Man, you've been Mandingo for a minute though.
Oh shit.
Where'd the nickname come from?
All right, it was more like as an amateur. You know, as an amateur, it's not really too serious. So it was just more like a, let me do something that kind of goes with my last name, which is Mulder, by the way. So I was like, what's something that'd be good with?
Thanks for telling me that, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
So it wasn't really nothing serious. I did it as a joke at one point, but
Okay.
everyone seemed to like it because it got two meanings to it. So, a lot of people think when they hear Mandingo, the dirty-minded people think of the porn industry. Mandingos. If you guys know what Mandingos is.
You know what? Can I tell you something? All the times I've heard your nickname, I never thought of that once.
Really? Okay.
So I don't know. It might just be
No,
you,
even the
bro.
You ever hear the crowd laughing every time you said it? Because I remember you said it a couple times. The crowd all be
Isn't it
laughing.
like
They
some
be
kind of crazy animal, like a Wolverine type dog or something? Isn't that what it is? What kind of porn are you watching, Jamario? What is my
I'm
man
not
talking about
saying
right
I'm
now?
watching. I'm just saying in the industry.
Oh, what does it mean in the industry? Explain.
Yeah, let's get some.
I mean, you already opened the door. Let's walk through it. What?
All right. How can I say this? It's a gifted black man. Just say that.
Oh my gosh.
Gifted.
Oh my gosh.
Let's just say that. But
Oh
all
my.
right. See, but
So do you have a nickname? Because this shit is off the.
Hey, y'all can just call me Olean.
That is your nickname, right?
Yeah.
Olean, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's what that means. But the actual definition, like I said, has two meanings to it. That's why I picked it. Because actually, the real definition goes back in the slave days. They were like the
fighters.
the fighter war. Yeah, the fighters and the
Okay.
warriors of the
See, that's
slaves.
better, man. Explain it that
why.
way. That's
But see,
good.
there's two reasons. Yeah, I'm
You
just
watched
saying. It was just,
Django. What
So
the
are you
fuck?
trying to?
What the fuck?
Jamario just used our podcast to tell all the women at home that he's a
He's got
gifted
no,
black man.
I'm not saying that.
Hey, I hope. Hey, all ladies. I hope I'll give out
I'm
his
not
number.
saying
and-
Hint, hint. What's wrong with you,
I'm
man?
Hey,
gifted
you wanna
physically,
give
though.
your
I'm
name?
gifted physically.
Hey,
I told you I can go into a fight with 2 weeks of training and be up and be on top of it.
Hey, you
That's
better
all I'm
give
saying.
out your fucking Instagram and your fucking.
Have they pulled us off the air yet? Are we still okay? I'm just checking.
Okay. Nah, I just want to
So,
make sure.
so your nickname is Olean. That just sounds like a nickname you've had forever, right?
Nah.
Because
I
people
mean,
can't pronounce your
Yeah,
name.
nah, I actually got it. My football coach, my senior year, he used to call me Oleon.
Okay.
And like, cause he couldn't pronounce my last name, so
Yeah.
he was a funny dude, so he just called me that. And then like my teammates would start calling me that. But then like I have like a couple partners that I hang out with. It's like 8 of us. Like they started calling me Olean. And like it was a whole bunch of nicknames before it became Olean. So they just started calling me that.
Give me a few of them. Give me a handful.
Okay. I don't know.
Come on, it can't be any worse than this shit over here, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I'll be. Hold
I'll
on,
admit
let
it,
me,
Mandingo.
I gotta think, man, because it was a couple of them. God, Olean. They was calling me Olean for a minute. There's a couple of them I'm not
Couple
gonna
you
say.
can't
I'm
say?
not gonna say on the air, but
All right.
you feel me. But it became Olean eventually, so
Yeah.
I stuck with it. I liked it, so it just something
Yeah, I
pretty
like it.
cool.
Got a cool catch to it, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with you, Jamario.
I mean, I told you, I was young and dumb at the time, man. Like I said, I grew up, as you said, when I was 18, just doing whatever. I was
Yeah,
young
yeah,
and dumb,
yeah.
and I came with some young and dumb nicknames. Like, hey, but people liked it, and even as a pro, I came out one time as a pro to that, and they was still, everybody likes it. So I'm like, man, I might make that permanently my thing. So.
I mean, it's on Tapology, it's on Sure Dog.
That's right.
It's everywhere. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. So people prefer Mandingo apparently. So I mean, there's a lot of dirty-minded people out there. They just me. They worse than me. Yeah.
So let me ask you, I'm gonna go You get this kid out of my studio, bro.
Yeah, Sergio
All right,
gotta
no,
deal with
no,
me.
no. So let me ask you, aside from Jamario, who do you like to train with a lot over there at Team Salguera?
Hold on, let me think. It's honestly, it's a couple of dudes that really give me some good work. Let me think. We got a dude named Jeremiah. He's a big dude. This dude's like 17 years old, but when I tell you this dude's strong as shit. I like to work with him because like his grappling, like he's strong. So like you feel me, like if I could stuff his takedowns, if I can get out of his escapes and all that, like then I'll be cool. And then I have Jamario over there as well. And then I got some little dudes like I got CJ. He just gives me that speed, so like get out of that. And then who else I got over there that gives me good work? And then I got he doesn't train over there, but there's a boxer named Aline. He trains at Punch and Crunch in Brentwood, and he gives me good sparring, good boxing sparring. So it's a couple cats over there. Like it's a lot of people that have came through that have helped me out like over time that aren't with us no more. I got a good friend, Jerry Fernandez. He gives me good wrestling as well, and then my friend Demir Wright gives me good boxing. So it's a couple people that come through and just give me a lot of great work. Like I wouldn't say that like Mario. I've known Mario since I was in middle school, so like that's gonna be my go-to.
So you guys knew each other before Team Salguero?
Yeah.
Way before we met Sergio, yeah.
But hold on, you grew up kind of like happy dappy, and you grew up in the town. So how did that work out?
I escaped it.
Oh, you escaped
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Yeah, when I
ran
got
away.
away from it. Yeah, when we got away from it. So
Where'd you guys go to middle school at?
I went to Black Diamond. I was in middle school when he was in high school because after the middle school wrestling practice, I would go to the high school practice.
Oh, I see. And then you guys met each other
so
at
that's why I
wrestling
met him,
practice.
and he like.
Who was a better wrestler?
at the time, maybe me because I had my grown man strength. That's it. But hey, he grew up on me. He used to
Look at that
actually be
face.
shorter
He's
than
like,
me.
nah, man.
I remember
He grew up,
tossing you a
yeah,
few
he
times.
grew up on me, yes, because like I say, he was a middle school. I'm a high school. Of course,
Yeah,
I'm gonna bully him.
yeah, that's
Of course,
true,
I'm
yeah.
gonna bully him. But,
Yeah.
now we adults now. He coming up with me in the wrestling, so I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man, that's something I don't mess with the wrestling.
Yeah, but Mario, like, he was just like a great person to me. Like, he took me under his wing. Like when I was in middle school, because like when I was in middle school, like I have an older brother. My older brother, he ended up leaving to college, so it was just me and my sister. So when I needed like somebody, like when I needed a ride or something, like I would hit up Mario. Like I was in high school when he had already left. So like if I needed something, like Mario would be my go-to person. Like I'd be like, hey Mario, can I borrow $20? And he'll be like, I'm coming over right now, and just like things like that. And he would actually, before I actually started fighting like with Sergio again, Mario would come to my house and train me in my garage.
Yeah.
So like that's just how we came up. We just
That's
came
the
up
same
together.
way I started. He started the same way I started. We used to go to just a local 24, not a 24. We used to go to a local In Shape.
Oh,
And just
okay.
literally train. We
That's a
didn't
girls'
have we
gym.
didn't
In
have
Shape is a
anything.
girls' gym,
Well,
ain't it?
That's all we had. That's all we had to switch it up and go to.
okay.
Yeah,
Nah, we go to 24 hours.
Yeah,
You just walk in like, hey, gifted black man here.
The Mandago's
I didn't go
arrived.
around expressing anything go freely like that. I didn't go around expressing it freely.
So, okay, so your next fight is GKO.
Yes, sir.
We know that you're fighting Luke. And when's your next fight?
Actually, Saturday.
Saturday you're fighting?
This Saturday.
Where?
You doing
For
boxing, right?
URCC.
What? Who-
it was
Oh, they
supposed
did
to
me
be.
dirty, bro. They did
Oh,
me dirty.
man.
Nico did me dirty, bro.
So
Oh,
who are you fighting over there? 'Cause-
I was supposed to do that show.
His name is like Luis.
Costa? Oh, yeah, okay, okay.
Koski, something like that. So I mean,
They're
I don't
huge.
try to
That's a
work-
huge company, bro.
Yeah,
So,
I know,
and-
yeah. So
yeah.
it was kind of shocking to get it from get a opportunity from them. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm pretty. I guess I'm down. So I mean, like I said, so what I seen the short. I don't try to watch too much because if I watch too much footage of my opponent, it gets me mentally sometimes. So I watched
Right.
it one time. He seemed like he could be a striker. So hopefully it'll be a striking fight.
'Cause you want to stand, yeah.
Of course, I want to enjoy what I do. I don't enjoy.
How's your
what I
jits
do.
coming along?
I do it since like Osei said I've been training with Johnny Santos.
Yeah.
Since I've been working with him, it's been actually getting way better. Like he's showing me things that I've never even thought about doing. Like and I look at some of my fights too from my past, and I'm like, if I would have known this in some of my past fights, I could have really finished people
Yeah.
the few times I was on the ground because he showed me certain things from certain positions like that I did unintentionally, like not even noticing. And
Yeah.
if I would have had like a jiu-jitsu mindset from what he taught me, it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah.
So you're
since
realizing
then,
that there's been like a hole in your game for a while that you
Of
needed to
course,
plug
yeah,
and you
yeah.
didn't know it.
It's
yeah.
not that there's a hole. It's just the
Yeah,
fact
so
that
it's
not
a-
and
There's
not
a hole.
everyone
That-
knows.
that's a hole.
Not everyone wants to be a man and fight. That's what it was. Because I always had a grappling, experience. I just be like, you know what?
Oh
I'm
wait, so I
tryna-
want to clarify this. So jujitsu's not fighting. You can say it.
I'm not. No, okay, no. I'm not saying that because I seen a couple of jiu-jitsu
You see me
events
trying to
they
corner your
add-
fighter into saying some shit?
No. Because I
Get
seen a
all the-
couple of
get all
jiu-jitsu
the
events
jiu-jitsu
where
guys
they
after you.
add hits in, and I just feel like
Pancration.
Yeah, exactly. I just
Yeah.
feel like adding the pressure to it makes it, because just the patience
I
part
feel
of
you.
jiu-jitsu.
I feel you.
So I mean,
I
I
think they
got
call-
nothing but respect.
I
for
think they
jiu-jitsu.
call that MMA. It's like,
Nah.
Nah, you know what I'm talking about, right, Jim? I haven't fully, but I've seen ones. I seen a jiu-jitsu event where they were throwing hit. It wasn't
It's
like
pancration. It's open
Okay,
hands.
okay,
Yeah,
yes,
open
yes.
hands.
what
I
they,
seen
what they
them
call
like-
it, combat jiu-jitsu now.
Yeah, combat
Right.
jujitsu, or they
That,
do
yeah.
military combatives are the same
Right.
way.
Yes,
you do
exactly,
jujitsu?
exactly.
Yeah.
You do? You better jujitsu than him?
I mean, Mario's a striker. I've always been like grappling. Like grappling's
Yeah,
when I came
grappling's
in. Like
easy.
they actually like changed my whole mindset to like the fighting game. Like I feel like now I'm a way better striker than I am a grappler. But I still do my jiu-jitsu because you always gotta like. I just feel like you just always need that. Like,
So you know when you're at a good camp when like you were a good jiu-jitsu guy, grappler, wrestler, and now you're a good striker.
Yeah.
You're a good striker, and now you're learning jiu-jitsu.
Yes,
That's how you know you're at a good camp. When they see, okay, you could do this. Now let me
Yes.
teach you how to do this, so that you can do all of this when it's time
Exactly,
to fight. So
exactly.
that shows
Yeah.
you're at a good camp. So
Exactly.
yeah. So you can help him with grappling. Although from what I hear, he
Yes,
was a
yes.
better wrestler than you all through everything, high school, all of it.
was at that time because, like I said, I was older. But
I'll tell you who told me that too. It was him.
No, he
Just
was.
a few
I mean,
minutes
he
ago.
was older. He was older, but
Yeah,
like
and
I
that's
feel
it.
like now I give him a run for his money. I feel like I give everybody a run for their money.
definitely.
Like, so it's just-
Definitely.
What are you fighting at this weekend?
70 as in weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, 70, 170.
And what do you fight at?
85.
Okay. Trying to create some drama here for see what we can do
we
here.
we already get the, we get the same teacher going to the gym.
We
all
could
the
do it
time.
like Balboa and Creed behind
We
closed
do
doors.
this. Yeah, we do it all the time at the gym. It's nothing new. All
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've been having some of the best fights at the gym with your best friends,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Isn't that
definitely.
crazy shit?
Like I said, I got dropped for the first time in my life. In my life,
Right.
like I've
Every
never.
time.
Yeah.
No, every time me and Mario spar, like even like from like the beginning stages, like the beginning of the year, like when we would spar like all the time, like that shit would get bloody. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
it just be
Yeah.
like you feel me? Like we'll
It's
be
because
like,
you're friends and you
Yeah.
don't.
Intention,
Nobody
yeah,
wants to be
yeah.
the one that didn't
Our
win.
intent,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly. No, so but then like at the end of the day, you feel me? You all blade it up, you hug it out, and like that's
Yep.
it. Like we
Yeah,
back at
that's
it the
it,
next
yeah.
day. So like I
Then
feel
you
like
figure out who's gonna buy dinner that night, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
Fuck
might
yeah.
yeah,
Not
he
cut
got a
right.
job
Yeah.
now. That's what I'm saying. He got a
Nobody,
job
because you
now.
just go to Chili's and Sergio hooks you up.
Usually,
You're
yeah.
not lying.
Hey,
lying.
hey, should we be getting like paid for like
For the
promotional-
Chili's,
for
yeah, the
Chili's drop?
promotionals. Let me ask you guys an off-the-topic question. I just want to hear where your guys' heads are at. They ban MMA tomorrow. All combat sports are banned. Sergio gives you $100,000 and says you two go start a business. What business are you going to start together?
Ooh. Honestly, I think.
Don't say drugs, Jamario. Come on, man.
Nah.
No.
I told you I escaped
Man,
the hood.
damn.
I ain't got the mentality no more. I don't got that
All right,
mentality.
so you got
I escaped the
$100,000
hood.
between the two of you. You got to start a business. What is it?
Okay, well, for one, if we a team,
Yep.
I would go to him first. But the first idea I think of off the top of my head is I would say mainly fighting for self-defense at that point, I guess. Because at
Nope.
that point, you don't want to just blow all the money at once if that business doesn't go through. Where my mindset is, if we can invest, let's say, 20,000 of that
Okay.
into a good gym to get it started.
Save 80.
Yeah, save 80,
Okay.
and then with 20,000 starting it, equipment. I'm not too sure what the estimated price is for people
Yeah.
usually spend on opening a gym. But let's
How much
say-
does it cost to open a gym, Sergio?
Lot.
$30,000. There you go.
Okay, well, let's say 30.
Okay.
So I got 70,000 left. 30 grand. We get it started. From that point, just from our things
Hey, you
we
heard
know.
him? He's got 70,000 left.
We-
Not you guys. He's got 70,000
we
left.
He said if we was together, he would come to me
Yeah.
first. But like that's hecka crazy because like that's exactly what I would have said too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a training facility, like
Exactly.
something like that. Because if we got $100,000, like you could put 30 into one, and you could start getting your equipment. You could damn near open up another one next
Yeah,
door. Like
yeah.
you feel me?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
So
And
you'll
then-
have more. You'll have money to buy your equipment and all that.
So the
like,
answer is you guys would open a gym.
yeah,
Pretty much for self-defense, because at that point it's no MMA anymore, right? Because
Right.
we're saying now, really. So
Yeah.
at this point it's for self-defense, but also there's people out there who's like real open-minded who want to take it farther than just self-defense, like me,
Okay.
for example. So I mean,
Okay, let
with
me
our
ask it a
knowledge-
different
yes,
way.
yes.
If you couldn't work in the fighting community, what would you do?
okay, there you
What
go.
would you do?
Oh, let's see with my mind. Okay, 100,000. Go to Osei.
I mean, 100,000 probably like something like maybe like real estate, maybe.
But that's smart. I like
Yeah.
that idea. I
Because
like
like
that idea.
everybody needs somewhere to live. You always
Of
need
course,
somewhere to
yeah.
live. So.
It's always like investing in things people need. That's always what I tell. Even like I tell myself now, like if I was to ever have a business, you can't just make it. It has to be something everyone needs. Like everyone needs
Food.
transportation. It can be like even if I was going to college, I was saying like when I was going to college and go like I want to do something that everyone needs. Everyone needs like a mechanic or something. Everyone needs a car fix. Everyone needs like
Yeah.
I said, a house to stay. Everyone needs. It has to be something that everyone needs to keep a business going. You can't just like go into something and just
Yeah, I
go
feel
into
you.
something that you think you might need. Like
Yeah. So your mom doesn't come to fights. My mom came to one of my fights, got wasted because she didn't want to watch me fight. Does your mom come to your fights?
yeah, she does. She came. Actually, like I said, of course she's with it. Cause like I said, her back.
Oh, that's
then,
right, that's
she
right.
used to
Mom-
force me to fight.
She used to be your trainer, bro. She used to be your manager.
She used to force me to fight. So of course she with it. Of course, at the end of the day,
She
she
getting
don't
your
really-
ass when you lose? A little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay.
You know, like, see, she kind of let me do my own things. I'm an adult now, but other than that, 'cause, like, even if she didn't want me to fight, I would still do it. 'Cause, you know, I'm an adult,
I
I
feel
do
you.
what I do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know, she does. She do. So, I mean, she got the like, same mentality as me. 'Cause, you know, actually, back then, when she was, when she used to, you know, back in her days, when she used to run the street, her name was Corliss, or in the street they call her Carla. But I gave her the nickname of Cutthroat Carla.
Oh, she used to get it? She used to get it back in the day? She used to fight?
She used to get into it with people.
No.
Yes, I call her Cutthroat Carla. So, I mean, Cutthroat Carla, whatever you guys want. But yeah, that's back in back when she was. And then same with me. Like I said, as she got older, she just kind of, mellowed out because you gotta realize it's not about, just doing stuff like that at the end of the day. So I mean, but yeah, other than that, yeah, she comes to my fights. Yeah, she comes to some of them.
Yeah, and the Bay Area is a little bit off the hook because I grew up in the Bay Area too. It's like you gotta stand up for yourself and
you
shit
can't be a
because people
punk,
don't
yeah.
understand. It's like there's predators and there's prey. You
Yep,
know what I mean?
yeah.
It's like you
Sheep
fall.
and wolves.
Fuck yeah! And people don't realize that you got to stand up.
Yeah,
Exactly,
for sure.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna ask you guys a couple different questions, but one I want to ask you this first. I want to ask you, can you keep this pace of fighting this often that you're doing this year?
Oh, I mean, like I feel like because right now, like it's amateurs right now. Like in the first couple of fights, it's like shin guards and stuff like that. But like obviously, like as it gets to like like when you go pro, like as it gets to more tougher fights, you're not gonna be able to be fighting like all year long.
Yeah.
But if I could, like right now, keep this pace, definitely.
Yeah. So you like it?
Yeah.
And what's your pace right now? You fought once this year, right?
So
But you're
far,
like, I mean,
yes,
you're like,
yes.
how many fights have you had? 13? Something?
Yeah, about total, yeah.
So
total
12 or
about
13 in there,
total,
yeah. And
yes.
plus you had some kickboxing fights, I think.
The
So you've done a bunch,
boxing
yeah.
too, right?
I'm transitioning to boxing.
Yeah.
I just make the transition.
So let me ask you guys this. You both have jobs,
Yes.
okay? You both still train,
Yes.
and you fight, and you probably, I'm sure you have lives, like your girlfriend,
yes,
things like that.
yeah.
Is it hard at this level? For you, you're an AMI, so you, like you said, you're an amateur fighter, but you're a pro now.
Yes,
So
yes.
how hard is it to work, train, and fight, keep that mindset, have time for your girl, have time to do things that you want to do? I mean, are you just always moving?
I try to be. Actually, man, it's crazy because, like, right when I made the transition to become pro, life just really hit me. So, like, that's what kind of been a puzzle. Like, it's like, if it was up to me, I want to fight. I'm a dog. I want to fight twice every month if I could.
Yeah.
I'm a dog. Like, I want to, but, like, life hit me. I had just, like, financial things hit me. Like, just, like, things that I didn't know.
Adult shit.
Yeah, becoming an adult. So, it's just like, I just had things hitting me. Like, these last couple years since I went pro, it just seemed like I was just playing catch up. So, like, that's another reason I haven't been as active because I'm constantly, like, playing catch up, like, trying to get caught up with just life. Like I said, things that just happened.
Yeah.
Actually, I got in a motorcycle accident one time.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I had my face busted open, fingers busted open, legs, and I had stitches. And of course, I was a dog. I got back into training
Yeah.
2 weeks later with stitches still in my legs. So I mean, but other than that, just life hit me. So I guess with that accident, like, I'm young and I'm dumb. I didn't have insurance.
God?
But yeah, so I mean, I'm just stuck trying to, just pay things off and just get life started. But at the same time, I don't want my life on pause. As you see, I went pro about maybe over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And since then, I just haven't been as active as I wanted to because, life just hit me. There were just times where I was like, I gotta go in and fight. I can't just sit there and let everyone tells you you're young. Eventually, cutting weight is gonna get harder. I don't want to do it while it's hard. So I just blindly went into a couple of fights. Like I said, with short training camps, just not the right mindset. And I went in there and fought. I won a couple. I got lucky, won a couple, and I lost a couple. Like, I just went up there with not the right mindset because, since I moved out, I got responsibilities now. So there's times,
Right.
I can't focus on my fight because I'm worried about after the fight. What's next after the fight? If I get hurt, am I gonna be able to work? Am I gonna be able to provide myself? So I just kind of came in with not the right, just had like the right mentality. So I mean, I'm slowly getting that caught up. I expect to be back on my feet before the end of this year. So even same
Okay.
thing, like I said, I'm just grinding, dedicating, overworking right now.
Gotcha.
Getting caught up financially, and I already, took the first steps into getting my life back on track. So
Nice.
I've been doing that. Yeah.
Nice,
So, I
nice.
mean,
What about you? How hard is it to balance the job, the girls? Look at you, got girls, man. Look at you, all tall,
that's
put
my-
together.
that's
I
what's up.
got
That's
a
mine. You know you
girlfriend.
do.
She is currently watching, so don't give me
Oh,
in trouble.
okay.
Okay.
We will talk about the other girls later.
I don't got no other girls. It's no other
Yeah.
girls.
So how hard is it to balance all that?
I mean,
She's
like,
supportive?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
I
cool.
work out with her. Like, so
Nice.
like, I was playing because I was playing football and like football and going to school is like a full-time job as well. So like you'll go to school, like you'll pull up to school probably around like 10 o'clock, and you won't go home till around like 8. So it's like it's similar to the same thing. But I feel like now because like I'm just in school and fighting, and I work, like it's a little easier. And it's summer too right now, so like it's been a breeze this summer because all I gotta do is go to work and train. But like during school, like it gets a little tough because you gotta figure out like when you're gonna work and when you're gonna train. Like for me, like I train like all week. Like I'm the Sergio all week. And then like before I would use the weekends to work, but now that I don't work on weekends, though I work in the week, I just train on the weekends. So like it's just really about like figuring out what's really important to you. Like you're not gonna have time to hang out. You're not gonna have time to kick it all the time. Like it'd be like that. You feel me? Like it's what you want to do. Cause like at one point I'm not trying to work. I'm trying to be rich. You feel me? So
of course.
You gonna have to sacrifice things now.
Trying to be UFC champ.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to sacrifice now to get to where you want to go. So I feel like the balance isn't really that hard because if you got a good mindset, then it's just a breeze.
Yeah. That's nice. So your girl trains with you?
Yeah, she comes to training with me. She goes to
That's
school.
why you were hella defensive. You're like, no other girls, because she'll whip your ass, huh? You're like, nah, my girl can fight.
I mean, like, in the morning, like, she'll, like, call me, like, early in the morning, like, hey, we got to go run, and I'll be hella tired. Like, sometimes I'll be like, oh, shit, like, should I not answer? But then I'll be like, let's go. Like, she'll be like, come on, we got to go. Like, you got to work out. And, like, just having somebody like that in your life to just keep you motivated, it's like, it just makes it so much more easier. Like, she's not a distraction. Like, I know some people, they got girlfriends who are just like, nah, let's just hang out. Let's just hang out today. Like, let's not do this. But, like, she actually motivates me to go harder. And she's at every single one of my practices. Like, it's either she's working out or she's just there supporting me and just, it's easy.
So your
like
girl's
that.
supporting you. You're calling him, trying to get him out of bed or whatever he's doing. And he's going to be there tomorrow.
Hey, see, and that's why I need me. Also, I need me a girl like that because the only person that motivates me is
got a
Sergio.
sister?
But
Nah, she's
You
always
got a sister for Jamario?
He's like, I ain't sharing anyway.
Listen,
What's
all the girls watching the podcast, if you're good looking and you want to support my man Jamario and make him train, call me and I will hook you up with Jamario.
Don't forget his nickname is Mandingo for a reason.
Mandingo,
all
yeah,
right?
Mandingo.
I knew one of y'all was
Don't
going to
forget,
say
he's
that,
gifted.
bro.
He's gifted.
I knew one of y'all was going to bring that up. See, that's
He's
why I
hella
want to talk
gifted.
about it because I knew you going to start bringing it up.
Hey, so let's we were talking off camera stuff before the podcast got started. There's a dark side to this, like in the MMA community that we're all that Bay Area Combat's, let's say, trying to get away from and stuff like that. So, tell me about some of your previous management that we're talking. It's okay, I'll throw him under the Paul fucking Hinkie, the fat bastard. So let's talk about shit like this.
All right. So, as you guys know, like I said, I've been with Sergio since day one. Like I said, day one, 17 years old, sir. But, like I said, life hits some of us. At some point, I believe I was 18, 19. It was pretty early in my career.
Yeah. Around your first 2 or 3 fights, I believe.
Yeah, it was around there. Yeah, maybe after my second or third. But, like I said, I was with Serge. And like I said, I got nothing but loyalty to him.
Right.
So when I was with Serge, he, like I said, life hit him. One of his brothers had an incident, and he passed away. So I mean, since then, he just needed time to himself. So I mean, me being a man and kind of, I had to make moves. When he was out of commission, I had to do something for myself.
You wanted to keep fighting.
Of course.
It wasn't I want to disrespect Sergio and move on without him. It was he's got a lot to deal with.
Yeah,
I care about him. I'm going to let him do his thing.
He was telling me to do the same thing.
I want to stay busy. Yeah.
Exactly. Because I told him, I'm like, honestly, like I said, I'm about loyalty. Like I said, since day one, my first fight, so many gyms were trying to
and it was always understanding that once he was back, you were back.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so I mean, so eventually, like I said, I moved on myself, and I met a guy named Paul Hinkie, as he said.
Right.
During that time, Paul I've been going to his gym, commuting from Antioch to Vacaville, Fairfield, Vacaville area. I went over there, and from there, like I said, he got me fights here and there.
There's like a weapons factory or something, right?
Yes, weapons factory. So from there, I started training with him, and since training with him, like I said, I kind of just been having a lot of events here and there, staying active again. And we had about three fights together, maybe 4
couple
fights.
at Matt McGovern's and maybe Art of War, something like that.
Moreno Combat.
Ultimate Moreno Combat,
That's what it was. Yes,
Rick Collop, yeah.
Yes, sir. So, I was with him here and there. So, whatever, we trained a little bit. We had about 4 fights. I was doing pretty decent with him, actually. But then, as time went on, I don't know, like I said, Serge came back at some point. When he came back, I'm just like, Serge is close, just more convenient for me because he's closer. He's been with me since day one. like I said, we share the same mentality, same training, everything. So at some point, you know, we're just like I had to go back with Serge or stay because now I didn't want to have that convenience of going way over there, just having
I
two.
understand, yeah.
So, you know, at the end of the day, I just, you know, I was back. You know, I told him from day one, too. I was like, when I first met him, like, honestly, I got nothing but utmost respect for Sergio. And,
Right.
you know, of course, you know, he did open a couple doors for me. Like I said, he actually introduced me to the WFC, Moreno Combat. And since then, you know, like I said, he opened a couple doors. And, of course, I'm overly thankful for him for that.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's been there. He's been in all my fights. He's been providing me. So, I mean,
Look
other
at
than
Steve's
that,
waiting to talk some shit on Paul Henke.
fuck
yeah,
yeah.
That's all we're doing right now.
I don't know what's going on too much with that. 'Cause like I said, I had nothing but respect. I've just taught to respect my elder.
But the good thing too that comes out of this that people can understand too is you had a chance to go work with someone else.
Yes,
and
yes.
that makes you cherish more what you have with Sergio.
Exactly.
Like
That's-
not that, yeah. So,
Yeah, you
yes.
know, that's you know, Sergio's a good coach. You know,
I mean that's an opinion.
so you
That's
know,
a good
so
coach.
so Jim, you and I have been involved in the fight game for a long time. We
Yep.
see a lot of like something that I've seen.
It's my 22nd year.
Wow,
Yeah.
damn, that's
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
Something we've seen a lot of is like a lot of like people predatorial management.
100%.
Predatorial. So it's like a lot of these fucking guys, they see talent like Jamario, you're a tough ass fucking guy. I mean tough. He's like, you know, you have a lot of fucking raw talent. You have nothing but growth from here on out. You got an uphill battle, of course.
Of course.
But it's like it's endless where you can go in your future. A lot of some of these like predatorial type of coaching and management type guys, they see talent, then they want to latch on, then they treat you like a prostitute and pimp you out to different organizations. Shit.
Yeah.
Because I come across that a lot, like as Barry Combat. You know, they want travel fees for their fucking guys that their guys never see.
Yeah.
They want fucking, well, you got to pay us for this. You got to
I've been
pay us
there,
for,
yeah, I've been through
you
that
know,
before.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, and it's like these a lot of these coaches are using their fucking fighters as fucking, you know.
Well, see, hold on.
property.
So don't say coach. So here's the way I feel. This is what I want to say. Now, we had this big discussion. You were involved on Facebook. I think Rudy Ott was involved. There's a few other, Antoine Hood, a couple other guys. There's a difference between a coach. Like you look at a guy like Sergio, who literally finds Jamario. They find each other.
Yes,
He
yes.
trains him from the time he's young. He coaches him and he manages him.
And
Then
supports
there's
him
the
through life, too.
guys. Then there's the guys that have never fought. They're not coaches. They don't know how to fight.
It hurts
They
me.
take a fighter that, say, Sergio has trained, and then they have a falling out, and then they go to that fighter and they say, hey, I can manage you. I can get you fights. And then they just start taking all of his fucking money.
Okay, I see what
Fuck,
you
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying? So here's
yeah,
a guy
that's
that's not
fucking-
adding anything to you other than getting you fights, which you could get. Of
course.
But he's not adding you. He's not teaching you how to strike. He's not teaching you holes in your game. He's not helping you further your career other than getting fights. And he's taking all this money. Whereas Sergio's been with you this whole time, so he's coaching you, he's managing you, he's helping you get fights. He's there for you. He's like a father
course.
figure. So you can justify that amount of money.
Yes, yes.
But there's guys, and I'm not going to name names because, listen, I got to work for all these people. But there's certain guys who take money who don't deserve money.
I've
No,
seen it
not
too.
at all.
Yeah,
It's-
I've
it's
seen
just
it too.
kills me.
Trust me. Like I said, I've always been observant coming up, and you know I'm young. I
Yeah.
got no choice but to be quiet and just let the, you know, people who's been doing it. But just being observant, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen people who had talent. I've seen people like kind of take the name, like you were saying, they take the name and they take the gift of this person and try to like abuse it by like you, like
Yeah.
you said with the falling off thing. I've seen that actual thing. You know, they just claim that they just because they've been around this person or
Yeah.
are for a little while, whatever.
This is
Then
my
they-
fighter now.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
exactly.
my fighter.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they try to exactly because that's something I can't stand. Like a lot of there's not much that get me mad, but taking someone else's credit is something I can't stand.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
yeah.
yeah. So,
And
I mean,
in the end, man, you're the one in the cage.
Yeah, yeah.
You're the one fighting. Not to take
Exactly.
anything away from Sergio or Steve or any
Right.
other coaches.
Of course.
But when I got in the cage and I looked left and right, I didn't see Paul Smith. I didn't see
Nope.
Nate Diaz. I didn't see Cesar Gracie. I saw Jim Cooley, and I was like, okay, well, I'm in here by my motherfucking self.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear anybody say that you own me or you do this because
Yeah,
I'm in here,
exactly.
you
Yeah.
know? So but in the end, guys like Paul Smith, who was my manager and my coach,
Yes,
I didn't
yes.
mind shooting him bread because
Yeah, yeah.
he got me into the fight game. He taught me how to fight, you know,
course,
all
of
that
course.
stuff. But
Yeah, yeah, there's
but if a
people who-
guy
yeah.
came along like Bob Thompson, I never met you before. Oh, let me manage you, and you start wanting 25% of everything I'm working for.
Yeah.
Fuck you, bro. What are you bringing me? You know.
yeah,
So,
exactly, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so any of the fighters out there coming up and looking for a good gym or anything like that, hit me up and I'll guide you from whatever area you're in. I'll guide you. I'll help you out.
If you're in this area, send Sergio.
Yeah, it's my phone number is 707-287-8457.
If you can't remember it, just look on Grindr. He's on there.
Yeah,
Don't give it up here.
And you know, it's like we'll guide you to a good spot. We'll take you, in because we don't want nothing from you. That's the
Right.
thing. It's like we'd rather have it be a part of someone's success than watch you fail based on fucking trying to gouge you for money.
Yeah.
We don't make nothing out of it. We're here to help you guys. You know.
Yeah.
We're fighters. Jim's a long-time fighter. I'm a long-time fighter. We've been a part of the fight game, and we just would rather. Jim Cooley's another one you guys can contact on Facebook Messenger and stuff. He can also guide you and help you guys out.
Yeah, but if you don't want to fight, don't contact me and ask me to help you get fights because
Yeah.
I don't got time.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you guys an example. So Nick Diaz contacted me about his buddy, who's now actually a pretty big fighter. I'm not going to say his name, and had me set him up with a fight. It was only his second fight, and I went out of my way to set him up with a fight. And I think I got him. He never was fighting amateur. He was only fighting pro. And I think I got him 1,000 to show and 1,000 to win, which was huge for your second fight.
Yeah,
Huge for your second
that's,
fight.
That's way
And
huge.
so I set up the fight. I called Nick back, and Nick said, "Yeah, let's do it." Again, I'm not going to say this fighter's name. And then as soon as that happened, his dad called me. The guy's dad called me. He goes, "No, we need 2,500 and 2,500." And I said, "What the fuck are you talking about? There's no
That's-
2,500 and 2,500 for your second fight." Yeah. And so he turned down the fight. And what happened was his first fight, it was a promoter that had never promoted before, and he was over budget, and he was giving fighters too much money. So he got that much money in his first fight. So then he was thinking, I'm going to get that much money for the rest of my career, like, period, no matter what.
Yeah,
And it's
don't
just
work
not
that
going to
way.
happen that way.
Don't worry. That was an
So,
opportunity of a lifetime.
it's a
That's
wake-up
an
call. You
opportunity
know what I
right there,
mean?
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you got in your last pro fight, but you've
Yeah.
had how many pro fights now?
6.
And I'd be surprised if you got 25 and 25.
Yeah, exactly. And
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not even
So
expecting that.
but again, that's his dad thinking, I'm gonna make all this money off him. This your kid,
exactly,
man.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
Yeah,
Like,
there's even like toxic parents out there, and that's
Yeah.
just crazy. Yeah, like, and that's how it is. Like, you got to cut off toxic people regardless of what it is. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, if you die, like, toxic people are there, man. It's end of the day, you know, you could be wherever you look in your grave, just thinking like, man, if I don't let these people, you know, take over, you know, like I said, if it's family, friends, whatever. If they toxic, man, you can't
Yeah.
have them around.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that was already good enough as it was, and that was, like I said, if I got an opportunity like that for a second fight, I would have jumped on it so quick.
absolutely.
So,
quick,
you know,
yeah.
it's like, so some of the pay for the first-time fighters out there is like, I've heard as low as 100.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
As
Look,
low as-
man. In 1999, Mark Hall
Yeah.
called me on Wednesday. He
I
said,
heard it
"You
was
want to
worse
fight?"
back
He
then.
said, "You want to fight Friday?" I said, "Where?" He said, "L.A." I said, "Sure." It was Temecula. I said, "Yeah, let's do it." I rented a car. It cost me more than $100. I drove down there. I didn't even know who the hell I was going to
Yeah,
fight.
yeah.
I fought him. I lost. I drove all the way home. I think I lost $240 on the
Right.
trip. I was
Yeah,
happy
it's
as hell.
like-
I got $100 to fight.
Right.
You know what I
that's
mean?
Exactly. it.
So-
You know, so like most first-time fighters are getting 250, and then part of their
Look at Olean's over here like,
Right.
motherfuckers, don't give me no
LOL
money.
right now,
Don't
like,
give me no
man.
damn money.
yeah, and then you get
I'm out here bleeding for free.
anywhere from 10 to 20% on your ticket sales. You know, then it goes up to, I think the most I've seen anybody getting on their first times like 500, I think.
Yeah, and it's a little more nowadays than it was when we fought,
Yeah,
but
of course,
but still, you got to have realistic ideas of how much you're going to make, because the bottom line is everybody's a fighter now.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
or not you're a good fighter is a different story, but everybody's a fighter on some level, you know. So let me ask you a real quick question. So you won twice at Bay Area Combat. You had an unfortunate loss to a leg humper at Titans Cage. How many fights do you want to have before you turn pro and start making money like your boy over here?
I mean, right now, like, I think the plan was to get like 4 more before we go pro.
So December.
Yeah.
Yeah, because hey, it's just hard to find. Same with him, he's going through the same thing I went through, which is hard to find them fights. And
Yeah.
like I said, in the day, you taking these hits for free as an amateur. So I mean, you know, you got options. You got to build your resume a little more and sacrifice time and sacrifice getting hit. You know, like I
Yeah.
said, just things for your future, or you can go pro early.
How many did you have? You had like 7, 8?
Yeah, about
Somewhere
7.
in there,
About 7, yeah.
And I think the Melvin Washington fight was your last.
That was the
fight.
last
You won
one. I was
that,
gonna
and then
go
you
pro
jumped
before
yeah.
that, but then it was like, you know what?
Let me
Let's
fight
run a
this
rematch
dude.
back.
Yeah.
Then it was like title fight, and I'm like, I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it. And I went cut the weight again to 155.
Yeah.
And actually, like I said, the second time I fought him the first time he came in overweight, still fought him, and I was sick because I fought 2 weeks before that, and I got sick from my weight. I normally I cut the weight because I'm losing 50 in 2 weeks. For some reason, I get sick all the time. And I fought him. And you can see my
Your
fight.
body-
The first
your
time I
body
fought
broke
him,
down, that's
I was
why.
nappy headed. I didn't care about nothing. I was nappy. I looked like a straight runaway.
Bro, you kind of nappy-headed right now.
I
a
mean,
little
well,
bit.
yeah, right now because it's
You
early in
ain't
the morning. It's early in the
You're really
morning.
faded right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. It's early.
I mean,
in the
I
morning.
look at my man over here.
He's all clear. He's got
Yeah,
like
morning
sharp.
dude, bro. I got insomnia. I didn't sleep till like 6 in the morning last night.
Me
I'm
too,
just not
me too.
waking up. I got insomnia, so I can
Yeah.
get away with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, the first time I felt like I said, I was looking like a runaway Mandingo slave. When I fought that. I'm serious. Look at the first fight. I was looking like a straight bum that
Fool.
fight. I didn't care about nothing.
Yeah.
Second time I
You
fought
did
her,
okay in
I
that
was-
fight,
yeah,
man. You
pretty
guys
good,
went to
right?
the decision.
Yeah,
Like,
and-
you know what I mean?
yeah,
It wasn't
yeah.
like you got whooped on in that fight.
Yeah,
That
of
was a good
course,
fight.
yeah,
That was a
and if
good
you
fight.
see the fight, like I said, if you see the fight, during the whole time, I was actually with Paul at the time, and the whole time it kind of looks like I'm retreating, but I'm kind of going to my corner, hoping he would like tell me what to do.
Give
like
you
my
some
corner,
advice,
yeah, like
yeah.
okay, you see anything I'm not seeing? You see anything I'm not seeing? Because if you hear Sergio, that first
And my
fight,
man's like this.
Right.
yeah,
Hit
see,
him.
yeah.
Hit
So
him.
it's like if you see Sir, like I was a Paul the first time I fought him, and you guys see how that went decision. Second time I fought him, and you know the first time you hear his cornerman just constantly screaming, "Run him down, do this, do
Yeah,
this,"
yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, "Where the hell?"
He had
my
a good
coach at?
team.
Is
Good
Paul
team.
Yeah, so
asleep
I'm
over
going
here?
back,
Did you
yeah,
go
I'm
on
constantly
downers?
going back like, yeah, what's going on? I'm like, okay, I guess I got to just fight off the instinct at this point. And then second time we fight him, you hear Serge constantly screaming, telling me what to do. And
So
everything's
wait,
going
so
to
you
plan.
were in his corner for the second Washington
Second one,
fight?
yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that. Okay, that
Yes.
makes sense. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
you
if
won.
you
That's
if you
why you
listen,
won.
you hear Serge screaming
that-
the whole time.
Good
The whole
coaching,
time,
coaching.
yeah.
See, that's coaching, though.
Yeah,
you know?
I was
Exactly.
commentating, so I didn't hear you. I would have been
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
somebody shut this dude
Trust
up.
me, yeah, you
Trying
hear
to work
Serge
over
through
here.
The whole thing.
I think it was me and Rick Reeves from Bellator that
Yes,
commentated
yes,
that
yes,
fight.
it was
yeah,
definitely a
that was a
fight.
good fight, man. That
yeah,
was a good
yeah,
fight. I was
that
proud.
I was proud of myself too.
So you've had issues sometimes with weight cuts, but you're getting better with it, right?
Of course,
What
yes.
about you and your weight cuts?
He gains weight.
Yeah, I mean, weight cut is not. It's not like cutting to 185 is not that hard for me. But
What are you
like,
walking around at?
Like 195.
That's not even a weight cut, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm
You just stop drinking water and take a piss.
I mean, no, but the thing is though, last summer when I was playing ball, like I got up to 203.
Damn.
So like it was like getting down. Like we're talking about like at first when I came back, we're talking about like 170, and I was like, I don't know about that one.
From
Like,
203, yeah.
But I cut to like 179 or 78. That was like the lowest I got, but that's it. I'm not going no lower than that.
Yeah. So all right, so you guys have both decided that this is what you want to do with your lives.
Yep.
That's it. Like this, I'm not doing
Stay
this part time. I'm ready to fight.
Stay active, yes, sir.
And then you guys are both sticking with Sergio.
Yep.
What is it? Team? What is it?
Team
Warhorse.
Tugger.
What is it? Just
Yeah,
Team
Warhorse
Tugger. What's
MMA,
this?
yeah,
like
Team
Warhorse
Tugger,
MMA.
yes,
I didn't know
yes, sir,
that.
Yes, sir.
You got this little shirts on. You brought me a shirt, Sergio.
We really growing
You
up
didn't bring me a
together.
shirt.
Really growing
You
up
got no
together.
fat guy shirts in the car, bro. I'm a ring announcer. You got ring announcer sizes?
Super large.
All right, man. First of all, I want to thank you guys for coming out.
Yes, of course.
I'm looking forward to you fighting at GKO. And Luke, good luck in that fight, man.
Yep,
I know
and
you got a
then,
game plan, even though you say you don't.
Don't forget.
Sergio ain't letting you go in there with no game
Don't
plan.
forget about he's going to be fighting for us in October.
Are you
Barrier
coming to
Combat.
fight for us in October too?
Yeah.
You fighting September and October?
Yeah, stay
a
active.
crazy
We're
mother-
serious. We're
Yep.
serious.
Look,
So,
look,
I was
Jamario. Don't try to
serious.
take credit for how active my man is over here. All
We're
right.
serious.
Look, man. Look, are you?
Ah,
When are
man.
you gonna come fight for us? Oh, you're pro now. We got to get a pro
Yeah, that's what I'm
license.
saying. Unless you guys.
Deborah, where's our pro license? Okay, when she gets the pro license, you got to come fight for us. I
Yeah,
haven't
I'll be
announced for you in a
glad
minute,
to.
man.
I'll be glad. That's what I'm saying. I haven't seen you in a while.
Did
So
all
I'm
your
saying,
early
like, I missed-
fights, and then
yeah.
you turned pro and said, "Fuck Jim Cooley."
Man, no, it wasn't that I was looking forward to see you, coach. I'm like, man, where my boy Jim Cooley? Where he been? Where he been? I haven't seen him now. I'm like, man.
So, and you're fighting this Saturday, man.
Yes, this Saturday.
Good luck in that fight. Obviously, what's the guy's name again? Luis Costa. Koski.
Something
Louis
like that.
Koski.
Yeah,
Arcadia.
yeah. No, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Ukiah or something. Yeah.
Oh,
something like that.
Ukiah. Okay.
Something like that.
Who's he trained with?
He's
Do we know?
Lost Boys Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh,
He's
okay,
with
Lost
Brian
Boys.
Wilson.
Lost
Okay.
Boys.
I guess he didn't want to fight Donasabe, I guess.
Nah. You
So-
fought
Oh, so
Donna
that's what it was?
Sabe, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, okay, man. So, good luck this Saturday. We'll see you in October at Oktoberfest, guys. That is October 26th, Napa Valley Expo, brought to you by Suncoast Awning and Bay Area Combat, as well as
IBEW. Local 180. Yep.
Local 180.
Yep.
So that night, guys, is going to be great. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of fights. We always have good fights out there. Make sure you guys check out my man at GKO, Oleen. He's going to be fighting. What's that date?
September 7th.
September 7th. My man Saturday at URCC. You guys can go to URCC-USA on Instagram. That's Nico Rivera's company. They're out of the Philippines. They're huge in the Philippines. They did one pay-per-view over here last year at Conquer. In Conquer, yeah. Or what is it? No,
Richmond,
it's
at the
Richmond.
Craneway.
The Craneway, that's it,
Craneway
Craneway Pavilion. And then this one's going to be at the Cow Palace, man. Legendary venue. So that's going to be fun for
I
you.
think this is going to be the second MMA show there, right? Second, because they did one with Uriah Faber.
Back in the day, yeah. That was the big Phil Flathers debacle, I think,
Was that?
right? Yeah, I think so.
Uriah was the main event. They fucking had it, right?
I might be mixing those up.
I know what you're talking about. I think that maybe this is the third MMA show there.
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's the third.
Third.
Yeah, so good luck, man. I hope you get that dub. I know you guys are going to grab those dubs for Team Salguera. Thanks to Sergio Salguera, who's in the building. We unfortunately didn't have room for him up here. He's bigger than me, if you could believe that. So, no, we just ran out of microphone space. Hopefully, we'll get you back in. We'll get to interview you as well and talk about some of these guys and some other fighters that you have coming up.
Of course.
Thanks to my co-host, Steve Barnett, who is going to be fighting
He's still active too.
August 24th.
August 24th, and that's going to be for Oscar Martinez.
Oscar Martinez,
I'll be there
CFC.
ring announcing that fight.
Chicken Ranch Casino.
Oh, and by the way, guys, the Antonio Jimenez Ron Monahan fight is off. Antonio Jimenez is backed out of the fight, so that is not happening.
You know, it's amazing.
Why?
I seen it. I
Yeah.
heard.
Because
Why?
when you talk yourself into death, you try to avoid it at all costs.
Well, you know what though?
He crossed the line. He
Yeah.
did. I like Antonio, but he crossed the line.
You know, it's he had an opportunity. He had an opportunity to squash this whole bunch of shit
Right.
in the cage. You know, hey, Ron's an honorable man.
I like both these guys.
Right.
I think Antonio was completely out of line. I've said that out loud before. I'm not taking sides because I don't know the whole story, but what he said was completely out of line.
I agree.
And then the stuff that he said on Facebook was completely out of line.
And then not to back it up.
And then to not get in a fight is a little, you know.
And you know, it's
What? Who?
no.
Antonio turned pro?
No. Ron's not.
No, Ron didn't turn pro.
He's not going pro.
I don't know if they'll let him turn pro at his age. I don't know if they're going to let him turn pro at his
No,
age.
he's not going pro.
He's fighting. They're still trying to find him an opponent for Oscar's
Right,
show.
right now.
CFC.
Yeah, it was
You're fighting Jerry Brown, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was some talk about was it Michael shit, what's his name?
Humphrey?
No, not Martinez, Mike Martinez, or what's his name? He wants to
Michael Gonzalez,
Mike
Mad Mike
Gon-
Gonzalez.
Mike-
Yeah.
yeah,
They're
so-
trying to put together a tournament, and they want to have Nicholas
Yeah.
Maximov in it. They want to have. It's supposed to be Oscar Martinez versus Little Bear,
Right.
and then they wanted Nick Maximov against Mike Gonzalez.
Mike Gonzalez.
And
Well,
then
they offered that matchup. In fact,
So the history there is that Mike Gonzalez and Oscar used to be like this. They were
Right.
like real
Tight,
close
tight.
friends. So ride Harleys up to Reno together and all that stuff. And then Oscar had a fight scheduled at Thunder Valley.
he got sick.
He got
pulled
sick
out
and he
that
pulled
day.
out. And Mike Gonzalez said he knew he was going to pull. Here's what Mike's side is. Oscar knew he was going to pull out. He knew he was never going to fight. He sold all these tickets to these people. And I'm not saying this is mine. But I'm saying this is what Mad Mike Gonzalez is saying.
Right.
And so he basically called him a bitch and said, you backed out of
Yep.
the fight. And Oscar was like, look, man, I was sick. I couldn't fight. And I've seen Oscar fight when he didn't feel good. I mean, Oscar's not afraid of anybody. And so that's where it's at. So
Yeah.
then Mike, as soon as he posted, he's like, well, fight me then. He wants to fight Oscar. And
Right.
Oscar said, okay, beat Nick Maximov, and then you could fight me or fight the winner of me and Little Bear or whatever. So I don't know how that's going to go. I can tell you guys this. Nick Maximov is a fucking killer.
Animal.
I've been watching that
hey.
guy since he was a kid in jiu-jitsu tournaments grow up and just become a beast. So I wouldn't want to fight Nick Maximov even in my prime. So
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You know, Bay Area Combat even offered to throw in a little bit as the sponsors.
Okay, so this is what Ron Monahan said on Monday. I know there's been a lot of speculation on who I will be fighting August 24th, so here it is. I'll be making my pro debut for the CFC Cruiserweight belt versus Brian Lopez. So he's still fighting CFC, but he's fighting Brian Lopez. And I guess it's pro. But see, you got to remember something. This
It's
show is on an
unsanctioned.
Indian reservation.
It
It's
don't count.
unsanctioned.
It don't
So
But once he does that, he can't
even
fight
then,
for
he can just say he didn't. I mean, it's
there's-
such a
there's-
fine line when you're fighting on Indian
See,
reservations.
Yeah, so unsanctioned fights are unsanctioned fights.
Yeah.
There's no California doesn't recognize
Now
them.
he might not be able to back out of it because he put it on his Facebook. So
Right.
now if they say you fought pro, he might, yeah. So I don't know. But anyway, I want to thank you guys again, Team Salguera, Jamario Mandingo Mulder,
What you got
the
to say
gifted
besides?
black man.
There you go.
My man Oleen over here. So make sure you guys check out those fights. Big thanks to Suncoast Awning, Deborah, Steve Barnett, Bay Area Combat. October 26th, guys. You got to be there October 5th. My name is Jim Cooley, at Voice of Champions on Instagram. We'll see you guys on the next episode.
Yeah.